5 of us, we go A. I'm gonna put the wall like this. We're planting the spike. We buy Odins, we spam the spike.
Basically the perfect plan.
So you do the default wall, my friend. You don't worry.
Well divided.
We got cancel.
We just plant here in the corner. Viper, use your ulti when you can.
Pulling them in.
Plan. I'm holding. We're holding. Don't
We
worry.
got you. Two on the left.
Nice. Viper, go back. We'll need your ult.
Last player standing.
My Viper would use ulti. Strategy perfect.
Today we're going to take a look at several clips of various pros showing off their skills on Astra. I'll break down and analyze each clip so you can learn how to play like them in ranked. I'm chill and let's get into it. Starting off with a bang, we have 100 Thieves controller player. Bang. We have a couple clips here to show you why I generally pick the Bulldog over any other weapon during an anti-eco round.
We're taking a 1v1 in B main. Dogging B! Oh, I'm nervous! I'm gonna get
Bang starts the round off playing on B, and the reason for this is most likely because as Astra, he can position his stars really anywhere on the map, and he can fast rotate to A or C if he's needed there in a pinch. If you're playing Omen, playing B is pretty standard as well, since you can help your team fight A aggressively with a flash if needed, or maybe a one-way smoke in the A lobby door. So you'll see Bang starts a little bit aggressively here on B, and he positions his crosshair a little bit biased to the left side. And a player like Bang does have very fast reaction speed, and he's a pro after all, he's a young guy, but he still wants to give himself a little bit of breathing room there in case anyone comes over and he can get the quick burst one tap. He also crouches here to make sure that he's not at head level as these players are peeking him from B main. After killing the Reyna, he sees that they have a Jet on their team, and he knows it's possible that the Jet might collapse on him and dash right into B, getting the kill and then stealing the Bulldog. Bang doesn't want that to happen, so that's why he retreats so quickly, and his reaction says it all, right?
No, you're good.
dashed in.
I'm pulling them in.
After Jet dashes out through the smoke and gets onto mid-site, Bang pops his smoke and places down another star inside of his smoke. Now, the placement of this star is pretty important. A lot of the times you'll see a star that's placed on the outside of the smoke that turns into a gravity well to kind of separate the Jet that dashes through and maybe get some more of the attackers stuck in the gravity well for your teammates to kind of crossfire and maybe get a pick on them. But the reason that Bang puts the star inside of the smoke here is because he has a teammate assisting him here in A link, and when he pops his gravity well, he can hold the rest of the players in place inside of his smoke, preventing them from trading the Jet. So sometimes placing that gravity well in a smoke is actually better than placing it right outside of the smoke, depending on the situation, of course.
I'm pulling them in.
As you can see there, Bang isolates the Jet and is able to get a pick. On the very next round, we have a slightly more passive setup from Bang here with this smoke in B main again, a smoke by C to help the Killjoy, and then you'll see his last smoke is placed a little bit more passively again in A main. This is a very common setup you'll see from very high rated players like Som and Bang and nAts. They'll typically put 3 smokes in these major choke points leading to the sites. That way they can quickly activate their smoke without having to place it down first if there's a rush onto one of the sites.
Okay, pin this guy. Wait, I can astral wall. Hold on, I'm astral on.
Spike down.
Door
A.
inside, inside, and
One enemy.
Hey, on me, on me, on me, on me!
As you'll see at the end of the clip, Bang walks down the stairs to try to assist his team on fighting on A to prevent the plant from going down. Bang comms to his team that he hears one in heaven and then notices that the Killjoy got a kill in tree. So after Asuna gets the pick on Reyna, they know that the Jet is playing in tree with the Killjoy. Now Bang retreats back to stairs into cover so he can throw down an Astra wall straight across that cuts off the vision and the audio. You don't want to forget about the audio from tree and from main. He heard the door open here as well, so he knows that they're most likely going to route up through A main here, and after getting the last pick on the player in tree, Bang sees the Killjoy pushing up through A main, comms it to his team to make sure that they can trade him out if he needs to, and gets the kill on the last guy. Some really quick thinking here from Bang, and a great use of the Astra wall to block off the attackers from where the bomb went down. Next up, we have RgLMeister attacking on split.
Hawk out. Obscuring fish. Need that back.
So you'll see that he actually smokes male here instead of vents. And typically you'll see the opposite. You'll see a smoke in vents and just having a star that turns into maybe a concuss or a suck in male. But RGL does the opposite here, and there might be a couple of reasons for this. Maybe he wants to have his teammate fight vents for control of that area. The other reason he might be smoking male is because he might want the B heaven players to think that they are going up through mid into vents to take some A control. This potentially also has the side effect of making the defenders that are playing in B heaven and on site start maybe shifting over towards A because they might think that this mid to A routing could happen.
No, pop. Pop smoke here, Mago. Pop smoke. Astra and flash. Go.
Taking that back. Blocking vision. Enemies B.
So what you just saw there was a little bit quick, and if you didn't catch it, I'll break it down for you now. So what happened here, his Sky teammate here told Astra to pop a smoke, and there was a couple reasons for this. They may not have intentionally done this except for the flash, but actually helped them get into sight a little bit more easily than if they just went in dry. So after recalling the star, the Sky is able to pop flash right out of the smoke in a very favorable spot that's going to blind anyone peeking B main or anyone that's looking from heaven. Now, if you remove this smoke and Sky had to flash from B main, that gives the defenders enough time to dodge the flash as it travels through this B main choke and not blind anyone. With the addition of the recall smoke, you're able to pop flash out in the open, making it much more difficult to dodge. The other benefit that this recall smoke has is that the Raze is actually now able to position themselves in the smoke and double satchel quickly out of the smoke into sight. If this recall smoke wasn't there, the Raze is going to have a bit of an awkward time trying to throw their satchels down and get onto sight more safely. So the recall smoke here actually lets them look down, throw their satchel in, and then come out even quicker with the flash that the Sky threw. So this recall smoke is actually doing a lot of heavy lifting here.
Side one. Backside. Backside.
One enemy remaining.
Backside.
Spike down B. Last player standing.
1 HP.
Nice.
Now as they take sight, RGL makes sure that he's in the fight with his teammates, trading them out, and making sure he's communicating with his teammates where the remaining enemies are so that they can get the trade, and calls out all the damage that he's done. This is a sign of a great support player and is exactly how you should be playing on Astra to help your team.
1 HP Sova, 1 HP Killjoy.
Last player standing.
I want to highlight an interesting smoke that nAts uses here on round 9 when he's faced with a 1v4 situation. His teammates go down on B, and now nAts is rotating through mid and going to try to retake through market.
1 HP Sova, 1 HP Killjoy.
Spike planted.
Maybe
Sova
Killjoy
planted.
tweet.
Sova plant.
Just swag.
Planter.
Darkest girl goes bye
So,
bye.
Should be
Concealment.
the calls now. Backside and
One enemy remaining. Trinity.
Twitch
You're
is-
welcome.
Now, unfortunately, nAts loses that round, but it was an incredible attempt, and he isolated his gunfights extremely well there. So this is the smoke I wanted to highlight right here on the edge of the platform that comes out of market. So this smoke right here will kind of allow nAts to fight anyone playing in logs in a close angle, and since he has a shorty, this will be a much easier fight for him to deal with than if he only had a phantom and a classic, for example. This smoke also allows him to get out of market relatively safely. Now nAts only has to really worry about the stairs angle here and maybe someone that moved into switch potentially. The smoke not only allows him to get out of market and fight logs if he needs to with his shorty, but as he comes out of the smoke this way, now he only has to worry about this garage angle and anyone playing there, which he saw where the Phoenix was, and maybe anyone playing on lane. Since he peeked out of the left side of the smoke here, he's isolated himself from the stairs angle here, where the Killjoy could potentially peek out and trade the Phoenix when they went down. But he knows that the bomb was just planted on site, so most likely there's going to be a player in B main, which is very common, and maybe another player on site somewhere. nAts also has a pretty good read on where the Killjoy could potentially be behind this wall right here, because this is a very common spot for people to play on this little jump up box. Unfortunately, the Killjoy peeks him lane on an unexpected timing and gets the kill when he's not ready for the fight. Other than that, it was an incredible attempt at a 1v4, and it goes to show you how using creative smokes like that to give yourself advantages in otherwise unwinnable situations is something a high-level controller player is able to do. So here's something I thought I'd probably never see a pro do, in ranked at least, and that's play Astra on Breeze. Breeze is known to be one of those maps that really works best when you have a wall controller like Viper. and I guess Harbor if you're into that kind of thing, but mostly Viper. Now, just to be clear, I don't think nAts would use Astra as a solo controller on Breeze in any situation, but Astra could work as a secondary controller to the Viper. So I'm going to go through a few rounds on attack and defense with nAts here on Astra, just to show you what the potential of Astra could be on this map, given you play with 2 controllers and you're probably in higher elo.
And also use Reina flash back pillar. I'm gonna use my smoke nest.
That'll work. Scanning ahead. Blocking vision.
After headshot, dead.
So nAts uses a really nice smoke here in Nest, and this will allow them to take mid control more easily. Viper's orb is usually used to smoke off this area, but that actually frees up Viper to use her orb in mid doors, so they can really take some mid control and not have to worry about these 2 very common, very dangerous angles for the attackers when you're taking mid.
On this.
Nice.
Viper dead on B.
I'm holding
Big guy
double.
dead.
Push.
He's coming city, he's coming city. We can come out B, I think.
Smoking city.
Obscuring vision.
And once again, nAts has another useful smoke that his Viper can't cover at the moment due to where the Viper's wall was initially. Astra's smoke is still able to kind of smoke off those tighter choke points, especially in the CT areas and the tunnel and nest. Now his teammates can scale onto site and not really have to worry too much about the CT angle.
I'm smoking for you. You can play in the smoke.
Concealment.
I have pull.
One is backside already.
Sova backside.
Okay, I'm gonna play pull. Okay, you're alone. You're alone.
He's gonna
One
stick
enemy
backside.
remaining.
That should be on my ping backside on the left.
Yeah, just keep playing time. Nice, Viper.
So you'll see at the end of the round that nAts just puts a random smoke kind of in the middle of the open to help his Viper just play in the smoke to give them that option and make it really uncomfortable for the defenders to retake, having to worry about that smoke. He also puts a gravity well star here and says that he's just going to play for the pull and the Viper's just going to have to deal with that 1v2 on site. Luckily, the Viper does get the kills and the round ends that way, but nAts could have delayed even further with that gravity well and potentially even won the round that way as well. So now you can kind of start to see how nAts gets a little bit more creative with Astra smokes here, and you'll see a little bit more of that as we go into future rounds. So now moving on to round 6, we're going to see a nice A execute using all of nAts' utility to create space and make some room for his team on site.
That'll work.
Use run. You wall up. Fake smoke.
Still in sight. Pulling them in. Need that back.
No backside.
Blocking vision.
Wall is gonna down. Wall down.
Okay, for creating space.
Nice.
Okay.
One enemy remaining.
Why?
Nice, Chris.
Okay, so as you saw, nAts used a fake smoke in the front of site to kind of cross over the choke, and he did this as Sova drones into site. The fake smoke could do a number of things. The first is obviously so nAts could cross over that choke and reposition in maybe an unexpected spot. And sometimes when Astras throw fake smokes, a defender playing near that smoke might think that they can maneuver around it or maybe stand inside of it to gain an advantage on the attackers. So for example, if someone was playing behind the smoke here in that little cubby section, and nAts popped his smoke, they may have been inclined to maybe walk into the smoke from behind that cubby, and when the fake smoke drops, then they would be out in the open exposed. The second part of this play is nAts putting a gravity well behind the pyramid back site, as well as another star right behind it. And I think the reason potentially for the second star was to maybe use it as a concuss to cover all of that back site area if a defender was playing there. Sometimes if you get concussed next to a gravity well, you won't be able to move as well, right? So it'll pull you into that gravity well, and now you're kind of a sitting duck and you're concussed and vulnerable. But since there was no enemy, nAts decided to recall the smoke instead. So now we have this smoke to the right here, and this smoke is pretty self-explanatory. It's just allowing him to take space into this backside area and fight anyone that might come through mid doors. Since the Viper wall is about to go down and nAts doesn't want to get caught in backside out in the open exposed, he decides to move back into cover and pop his Astra wall to further delay the retake and create even more space for his team to play around. And as you can see here, the Viper tries to peek through the wall, and unfortunately nAts is there waiting for them. I believe he put this star down maybe to use as a concuss when an enemy pushed through, or maybe just to pop it as another smoke when the wall goes down. Either way, he's taking a lot of space back sight and making it really difficult for the defenders to retake.
Okay.
Yeah. We're planting the spike. We buy Odins. We spam the spike.
What wall I did?
You do the default wall, my friend. You don't worry.
We got cancelled. Let's come out, I guess.
We just plant here in the corner. Viper, use your ulti when you can. Plan. I'm holding. We're holding. Don't
We
worry.
got you.
Nice. Viper, go back. You will need your ult.
Last player standing.
I think.
Oh yeah. But if Viper would use ulti, strategy perfect.
So you may have recognized this wall from another map on Ascent, very similar to the one when you're attacking on A site. It's similar to that one where you essentially cut off the entire back site and just leave this little area of plantable space. The Viper's gonna plant the bomb right here, and then they're just gonna play back in A main. Now, as for all of these stars that are positioned in front sight and behind the wall, obviously you saw that this one was used pretty well for a gravity well, which prevented the player that was playing behind the wall here from crossing over and killing the planter. Now, anyone behind the wall wouldn't have heard the plant go down, so it's not like they could peek through right as the Viper's planting and know exactly when that's happening, but it still prevents that player from peeking through at an unexpected timing. As for these other orbs front sight, when the wall goes down, maybe one of them would be used as a smoke, one as a concuss, but you did see this one used as a concuss as well, so they're just kind of there to cause chaos and maybe just use as like another smoke so that nAts can fight when they're trying to get the defuse. Either way, it's a great use of the wall here, and it's very similar to the one on Ascent, so it came pretty naturally to nAts.
Viper, can you start here, please, my mark? If they're gonna Kaio and I have double doors again, can you molly inside of this smoke?
Yes.
Wall up and molly. Taking double.
So as you saw from that clip, nAts' idea was to prevent the mid rush through doors, because each round before that on defense, the KO would essentially knife mid doors and Jett would dash in and get a bunch of kills and then take A site. So nAts had an idea to prevent this by smoking this little area here and then calling for his Viper to molly inside the smokes. And ideally, as the Viper's molly landed early, they wouldn't be able to cross through this smoke without taking some damage and becoming vulnerable when they come out of the smoke, giving them a better opportunity to get picks on them in mid. Unfortunately, the Viper was a little bit late on the molly, and the Jett snuck through, killing nAts in the process. But if you just look at the position of the smoke, you can kind of see the potential there. If the enemies want to cross over into mid here, they have to go through the smoke and either come out exposed to mid doors, or they would have to come out of the smoke this way, being exposed to the player in nest and Viper in tunnel. The only other way that they can maneuver this is by coming up on top of pillar here and potentially losing the gunfight as they're holding this angle. Unfortunately, the plan didn't go as well as they would like it to, but the idea was good. Other than that, defense was pretty straightforward, and nAts just used his smoke stars in A main and B main to kind of cover those positions where the Viper couldn't. Since Viper was playing on B here, walling mid, and probably putting a toxin orb in B main, nAts is able to use most of his stars in A and mid to support the Viper. So a lot of great ideas here from nAts, and who knows, maybe we'll see more of Astra on Breeze someday. But in your games, I would probably just stick to Viper and call it a day. And that's going to be it for this one. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like and let me know in the comments what you'd like to see from me in the future. Subscribe for more videos like this one and check out this one next for more. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.